Well, President Biden claiming in a new Yahoo News op-ed today that, quote, looking back at 2022, I feel more confident about America than ever. My economic plan is making the United States a powerhouse for innovation and manufacturing once again. Joining us now is Michael Faulkender, former Assistant Treasury Secretary for Economic Policy and Chief Economist at AFPI, and Judy Shelton, Senior Fellow of the Independent Institute and former Trump Economic Advisor. Good to see you both. Thanks for being here. Judy, that one word, powerhouse. I mean, 2022, we had two down economic quarters. We had 7% inflation, of course. We're going into a recession. Does that sound like a powerhouse economy to you?
It was an odd choice of words. I have to tell you, though, David, what bothered me the most in that opinion piece by President Biden was that he said, for so long, we've been told that the best path to economic growth is to lower taxes and to reduce the regulatory burden. But, President Biden said, that has never worked for the working class.
I know.
And I thought, that's exactly wrong. It has always worked. It worked with President Reagan. It worked under the Trump administration. And he also threw in a little bit of class warfare. It was always tax cuts for the wealthy, instead of acknowledging that that helps small business and also reducing the regulatory burden. That is how you empower the private sector and the middle class. And so I just thought his reasoning was exactly wrong-headed.
Well, and Michael, he also repeated the lie that he inherited a terrible economy when in January of 2021, when he came into power, we had 6% annual growth rate. We had 1.4% inflation. I mean, was that such a terrible thing to walk into?
Exactly, David. I mean, if you look at the economy that the Trump administration handed over, we were a full 9 months into recovery by the time the Biden administration entered office. The unemployment rate was well below 7%. We had inflation of just 2.1% in the fourth quarter of 2020, and then you see what the Biden administration unleashed. They put another $1.9 trillion into the economy. We had inflation. You know that prices, David, are up nearly 14% since President Biden took office. So they like to brag about how the numbers coming down, but that then gets them off the hook for all of the higher price level that we're at. And as you both said at the opening, on top of the 14% increase in prices that we've had, we had 2 quarters in a row at the beginning of this year of negative economic growth. We're only at 0.3% for the entire year. My gosh, that's a powerhouse?
Right, right. Well, let me drill down, Judy, a little more with what you said, because specifically what he said about the trickle-down, he used that old phrase again. It's the Republicans are stuck in this trickle-down theory that doesn't work. He said it made what the Trump tax cuts made our economy more unequal, excuse me. First of all, more than 60% of Americans got the tax cuts. It wasn't just for the wealthy or for the corporations. More than 60%, much more. And furthermore, the group that did best percentage-wise in terms of their income growing and their overall wealth growing was the middle class, was the blue-collar worker. So, I mean, it's exactly the opposite of what he said.
Well, and I don't know why. He must be aware of the facts because that's well documented. Everything you were just saying. The years 2018, 2019, and the beginning of 2020 were nirvana in terms of low unemployment. We had low inflation then, under 2%. We had increases in productivity, and we were reducing the wealth gap. We were decreasing inequality, and those benefits were benefiting mostly people at the lower end of the income spectrum. They were getting the largest wage gains, and that went across gender and race. So it was a very inclusive, opportunity-based, productive economy, and it just seems so odd to me that he would try to mischaracterize it that so badly, really.
Well, and let me touch, Michael, on the race issue, because, of course, it wouldn't be a Biden editorial if it didn't have the race issue written large. He claims that African Americans have been doing better under him than they did under Trump. Well, we have the figures. Again, it's precisely the opposite. After the Trump tax cuts, unemployment among African Americans went down. It was down to 5.4% in October of 2019. It's now at 6.5%. As far as I remember from mathematics, 5.4 is lower than 6.5, right?
It still is, David. And as Judy was talking about, the pandemic really masked the success of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act and the whole Trump administration's economic plan. Because in 2019, we saw the largest increase in household income on record. We saw the lowest poverty rates on record, not just across the board, but for all races. So when the president now talks about how his policies are supposedly working better, when you actually go look at the data from 2019, you see that not only we had the lowest unemployment rate on record for African Americans, we had the lowest poverty rate on record. And as Judy said, we had reductions in income inequality as a result of the plans that we put together during the Trump administration. Yeah. So, Janet Yellen had her piece out that had much of the same language, and I wrote that it was an alternate reality. So I really think that they're just living in a different universe, looking at different information, because it does not at all square with the actual reality that the American people are living.
And by the way, the supply side effect, the Laffer curve kicked in towards the end of right before the pandemic. The tax revenue was growing as we had more people employed, more people paying into the tax plan, more corporations. By the way, at first, corporate revenue did shrink a bit as their rates came down, but then it started to grow as the businesses started to grow. So that worked as well. Judy, we got to touch on this monstrosity of a spending bill that just passed through the House. How is that going to affect our economy? Because I got to think that it's going to make it more difficult for the Fed to lower rates because it's so inflationary, no?
Yes, exactly right. And that's another problem with the Biden economic plan as he related it in his article today. He said that he's trying to help the middle class and lower class, and that's how he's going to expand the economy. But when you have that kind of fiscal deficit spending, that's igniting the inflation. We had all of the historic rise in fiscal transfer payments. All of that is causing the inflation that most hurts the middle class and the lower class. And you have a lot of small business owners in the middle class. When you demean their work effort by transferring to people who are able-bodied and not working a livable amount of benefits in terms of subsidies that make it worth it, they can survive without working, you're not only kind of mocking the people who are working their heads off, but you're also making it harder for them to hire those people because now they have to pay them even more to get them to come to work and be productive. So I don't think that his approach is the right one to bring shared prosperity.
The safety net is not supposed to be an alternative to work. It's supposed to be for those people who can't get work. That's the whole point of it. I think you both agree. Michael, I owe you one. I'm getting the rap in my ear here, so we got to leave it at that. Michael Faulkender, Judy Shelton, great to see you both. Thanks for being here. Have a wonderful Christmas.